Welcome to the Absurdly Nerd Daily Show. Today we're talking about The Legend of Zelda and all of its art styles and box arts, and we're going to kind of talk about our favorites and our least favorites. And with Tears of the Kingdom coming out, we thought it'd be a good topic to start the day with. The Legend of Zelda looks really good in my opinion. The original, yeah.
The one with the gold.
Go
Yes.
Gold
Yeah,
cartridge.
and it stands out when you look at it, you know. And the art style itself, do you want to look at it as box art first?
Yeah. I love that we're doing this because I like to objectify box art.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Well, I love looking at box
Also,
arts.
that was probably problematic.
Objectify.
Objectify that box art.
Yeah, show me the backside of that box art.
Dude, I feel idiot.
Flip that box over.
Flip
let
it
me see
over.
what's in the back.
Let me get into the details of this box art.
I'm just going.
But I love looking at box art through the years.
Yeah, that was changed.
It used to be so good.
Yeah, I was about to say, it felt, I mean, a lot of times it wasn't indicative of what you were getting. It didn't do a good job of conveying what the game was, but I think they're
was
more
dope.
iconic whenever you recognize it separate from the game. And Legend of Zelda did that so good for so long, where
Love
the
how,
art was so engaging without showing you the actual game.
The double drag, those kind of games.
Yeah.
And stuff was like
Yeah.
the freaking meatloaf.
Contra,
covers.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
look
really-
like metal.
And then you jump in the
album
game, you're like, boop,
Yeah.
jumping, you know. But yeah, no, this cover art's really good, clean and classic.
Yeah.
It's not the best in my opinion, just because I mean it's the first, so they improved
Yeah.
on that.
The art style of this game's good.
Yeah.
For the time.
For the time, I think it's really good. And I'm gonna go ahead and say the second one, in both ways, I think is worse. I think
Yeah.
I don't like the art style of that game.
Oh, the art style, the second or the first one is like cool. It's clean. It's what's classic. It's what everyone knows about it. The second one looks like Pitfall.
Yeah, and not even in the good ways. And Pitfall's older, and I don't think this looks any better than that. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a little gaudy, but the box art, it's like the same, but a little better. You know, like it isn't that much.
Yeah,
they
it's got a
didn't do
sword in it.
enough for me to separate it from the first game. That's
got a
why I've
sword
been
in it.
right. Yeah, it's got a sword now, but I growing up couldn't tell which Zelda game was which for the longest until like Ocarina, just because like that was the one I saw the most. Like that was in stores and stuff. But yeah, neither of those are my favorite. But I think the first one's pretty good. What came after that? 'Cause
Should
they-
be
Chicken or the egg?
yeah, Link's Awakening
Link's
or Link to the
Awakening.
Past was next.
yeah.
I think it's Link to the Past because Game Boy Color was after that, and that's what most people played. Link's Awakening, Link to the Past. I love the art style. Of this
Still
game.
today, it looks great.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy to tell things from things. That's what was not happening in the earlier ones. Like you couldn't really separate environment from enemy and stuff. But I think this one did a really good job of just like making it more poppy, especially for what 88. Like it's really early. But I can't really remember the box art on this one that well. It doesn't stand out too much to me. It's kind of the same.
It's the same as the first two, except it just at a different time.
Yeah,
I think
except now
they had
it's
that-
sideways.
Yeah, and they had like the gold template of the first three is that.
Yeah.
it just
Oh,
looks like that.
no, I think Link to the Past was okay. So that's Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
That one, it turned sideways now because of the
Yeah.
cartridge, and it wasn't. It was more like Ocarina, wasn't it? It had the big Zelda, and then
Maybe,
it said a Link
yeah,
to the Past
maybe.
under it. And yeah, that one I like that one because it started the trend of the ones that I think of when I think of the box arts. And then we had Link's Awakening, and I don't think this one looks as good in my opinion.
No.
Not the original. We can go ahead and
The
talk
box
about the
art or
new
the
one in a
art
minute
style?
too. The art style.
Oh, okay.
Box art's basically the same.
Yeah.
Like it's similar vibe, except for the Game Boy Color is the one I picture, which is also good. But yeah, the art style to me is just a little muddy compared to Link to the Past. But then after that we got
Which
yeah.
Link's Awakening started out as a port.
Oh
Link to the
really?
Past, and then they just made a new game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Dang, that's cool. But the new one, we might as well go ahead and talk about the new one.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, that
I love that one.
it's not my favorite art style, but it's up there, man. Like, I love
like
the
it.
toy
I like
aesthetic
how
of
cartoony
it.
it looks.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to like play
It
on,
is.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Like it looks so good.
Yeah,
It's-
and with the plot of that game, like being what it is, and I don't want to spoil it for people, but
Spoiled it.
I'm not even going to get into it. But it fits the plot of the game really well, and the whimsical, the vibe of it. The new box art's better just because it like conveys. It makes me want to buy that game. Like
Yeah.
it conveys the game. In my
That's
opinion.
basically what bought. I mean, but maybe not now in the age of information, but back in the day, like that's what I guess what drew people to. That's what drew me when I was a kid. What drew me to buying a game was the
Yeah.
box art. Like that's the reason I bought a Ninja Turtles game, and it turned out to be asshole. Because it looked cool, but
they
played
had a
like
lot
shit.
to work with. Yeah. It's wild that Zelda was so successful. Like, not that was the end all be all, was what your box art was, but like you said, they didn't have as much information to go off of. That was word of mouth spreading it, not the cover that you see in the store. After Link's Awakening, we're getting into
Ocarina.
Minish Cap.
There's a couple more on the Game Boy. It's like Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons.
Oh, yeah,
But I didn't play those, and I don't remember.
And a lot of those are similar to like a
Those
Link's
were
Awakening.
Capcom.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, you dropping the facts right now. I didn't know that. This is our resident Zelda guy over here. Yeah, Eric. I'm getting into that space now, and I'm really excited about it. But Minish Cap to me is one of the better looking 2D Zeldas. Like, that game looks super clean.
Cool.
And I haven't played it until it came on Nintendo Switch Online, and I love it. So
And I feel like that game is the least talked about of all Zeldas. Like, along with the other
I
ones.
hardly ever hear about it throughout the years.
Yeah.
And I like it. And people are talking about it now because it's on Switch Online. But
that helps.
As someone who's never played any of the Zelda games except for Breath of the Wild, I'm purely going off of what it looks like.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Minish
that's
Cap
good to
does
have
look
you hear
cool,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, for that.
And then
The box art on that one's really cool too. I
there's
like it.
another Game Boy one was Triforce Heroes, I think, where you play some multiplayer, and that's another one that's in my gray area.
I think it looks similar to Minish Cap. The box is really cool though. I love the three links. It looks really cool. It stands out to me. That's what wasn't happening early. But we'll go ahead and get into Ocarina because it's one of those that didn't have characters on it.
Still the gold.
Yeah.
The backdrop.
But it's arguably the best, one of the, not even just Zelda cases, one of the best video game cases ever. And all it is a title. And, like, I don't know, there's something mystical about that case.
Does it have the Hyrulean shield?
Yeah.
That's it.
And then the background's that beautiful gold, it's awesome. And I remember seeing it in game stores and like, that's what drew me to it was actually that simple case.
Yeah.
Art style wise though, this is going to piss a lot of people off.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, Ocarina. I know it's 64, but man, there were 64 games that looked a lot better than this.
Yeah,
like it's so bland.
I want to say that Mario 64, like it looks better.
Oh yeah,
and it came out before.
Well, they decided with the colors they had to work with that they could make things pop where they needed to. I feel like Ocarina, everything kind of other than Link, kind of blends into itself. But the next game, Majora's Mask.
One of my favorite box arts.
See, I like Ocarina better, but I think I just around that one more.
Yeah.
That one definitely took it and enhanced it. Just that's basically what Majora was to Ocarina in general.
Scary mask dude.
Yeah,
terrifying.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely iconic for sure.
Terrifying.
The Majora's Mask.
Yeah,
Hey,
Majora's Mask.
I love the box art. The game looks just like Ocarina as far as how it looks.
But what I was saying with the colors, I think that's where they
More
learned
purple
a little.
and darkish.
Yeah, and like they did set them apart from the environment better, I think here.
They had a 2-year time limit to make that one.
Dude, they used to do that so much with games.
Yeah.
They did that with Knights of the Old Republic, and the second one came out, and they had to be out the next year. It came out the next year.
That's why
so.
there's only 3 or 4 dungeons, and that the time loop is just so you keep.
If they got to finish that game, Majora's Mask would have been so much better than Ocarina. But it's just the fact that they had to rush it. Let me know if we pass your favorite box art or or we'll come back to it. Whatever we want to do here. Following that, what were we at? We're on GameCube now.
Yeah, because the DS ones, I don't really know the order of those, but they're mostly going to follow the GameCube ones. So
Yeah.
The GameCube one was Wind Waker.
Right.
And
oh yeah, this one is.
the box art is fantastic, and the look of this game is fantastic.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Yeah,
And
both box arts.
People hated on it when it came out. Said it was too cartoony.
I mean, it was a big departure.
Yeah,
but
I guess if you're used to Ocarina and Majora's Mask, which was darker and grittier, and then you go to a cartoony, I guess, but
Well,
man,
I
it's
think
so
of it as
cute.
this was before people now understand that Zelda isn't just one thing. It's like it's a creative. It's
Multiple
kind of like
stories.
Final Fantasy. It's a creative thing that they
Yeah.
can branch into whatever path they want to go down. But this.
I think it holds up probably the best.
Yeah,
of-
it
of
still
this.
looks good.
Yeah.
That's crazy for almost 20
I
years
want
old.
that HD remake for Switch so bad, so I don't have to pull out a Wii U to play that game.
Yeah, I know. Just put it on the service, man. I just want to play the game. I never did get to play it. And
Yeah,
this
I
was,
never played it.
I was telling Eric, we talked about Zelda the other day. Like, I was never a Zelda person, but this was the one that, like, from a distance, really, I wanted it,
Yeah.
but I didn't have a GameCube. So it just, like, all this time passed and I never played it because I didn't get a Wii U either. It wasn't
It's cool though.
wasn't for me.
Like the 3 links that we have is Toon Link, Adult Link and
Young
Young
Link,
Link,
yeah.
and this is the first of Toon Link.
Yeah.
And I like the design of Toon Link a lot.
Yeah,
I thought you said Tomb Link, and I was like, "Who's Tomb Link?"
the dead one.
Tomb
Yeah, no,
Raider
this
Link.
is up there for my favorite
Yeah.
of both the box art and especially. I didn't play the Wii U one, and I didn't, I don't like the Wii U personally.
That
but
sucks.
that cover art, I
sure,
love
right.
the blue they picked to put with it. It looks really clean. But the art style, fantastic. After that, they redirected so much.
Well, they took the backlash of
yeah,
Wind Waker,
too seriously.
and it's the brown, black, gray
Oh yeah,
Twilight Princess, and it's a very, very good game.
I've only seen
But
stills.
it's so just muddy. It's so muddy.
I've only seen stills of this game, and I'm like, damn, that looks not as good.
It's such a good story.
Well, it's
but
so like,
muddy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'll give them credit that they made a really realistic
Adult,
Zelda game.
yeah.
Yeah. But like, why? When you built this audience and then you really go off track here. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm sure it is a good game. I haven't played it, so I'm not degrading the game. But the way it looks to me didn't look as fun as what Zelda had been, in my opinion. And the box art is cool, though. That's
It's
a
just
cool ass
crazy
box
because
art.
you have Mario Galaxy, which is one of the best looking Wii games, and then it's this. It's
Yeah.
real muddy, and I don't know. It's just
But on that box art where it's
it's the best box art.
Link is looking away, and then there's the wolf looking way underneath. Like it's
That's
really
what I'm
cool.
saying. I think it may be my favorite.
Yeah.
box art.
favorite box art.
Like there's a lot of Zelda stuff that is great for like wallpaper on your phone. We passed on Majora's Mask. The 3DS box art is possibly the best box art in Zelda.
I want to play both of the 3DS versions of Ocarina and Majora's Mask.
Everyone says they're so much better.
Yeah.
I want to play those too. But that box art with the purple and all of the characters behind, you got the moon up there. Like it's so cool. But yeah, Twilight Princess. I do still want to play it. I would love for that to get the Skyward Sword treatment. That's a lot more.
It's got
but-
the HD version for Wii U, but it supposedly it's in the works to come over. That's been rumored for 3 years. So.
Is that a really big game?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a long time, but I was also a dumb kid. So.
Yeah.
And
Through
now
the
you're
eyes of a
adult.
dumb kid.
Oh, that was me.
But the DS ones were mostly Wind Waker style,
Yeah.
except for Link to the Past, which was more top down, or not Link to the
Right.
Past, Link Between Worlds,
Yeah.
which was top down, and it
Was
looked
it-
good. But
Was it technically a sequel to Link to the Past? I know it's all convoluted a little bit,
yeah, it's like I don't know if it's a spiritual successor. I don't really know.
Maybe one
I
day-
didn't play it as much. Like that was the one because it was 3DS, and I didn't get into the 3DS much.
but maybe one day we'll get a flow chart out and we'll break down the timelines. We don't really have that to do today. But following Twilight Princess, we have Skyward Sword, which, all things aside, I think looks really good.
I think both box art's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Star Wars poster.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then the art style went a little. It's between Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. It's cartoony,
Yeah.
but it's more realistic
When-
cartoony.
When I look at gameplay of that, I get kind of like a Alice in Wonderland vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's got more of that, like the big mushrooms and everything. Like it's definitely more adventurous to me than Twilight Princess. I feel like not many people like it more than Twilight Princess.
I think the motion control ruined it.
That's true. Yeah, that's not really fair to judge it all.
But I
because
think
of that.
people, if they talk about it, they talk about how good the story is and how good the dungeons and bosses
Yeah.
are. But the motion, it's
Yeah. I think this is the most Link game.
it's the most linear too.
Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of people love that and they want them to go back to that.
Yeah.
But when I look at how this game looks, like that's, if you told me to draw a picture of Link, like that's probably the version that I think of. What was after Skyward Sword? Breath of the Wild? I mean, I'm sure there was something. No?
Link
'Cause-
Between Worlds, maybe.
Yeah.
That,
But yeah, Breath of the Wild, I feel like the majority of Zelda fans would probably say this is the one for the style, the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
No.
me personally. I love it. Like it is really easy on the eyes, but I do think I'm gonna trace it back to like Wind Waker. Like just pops out to me more. Like if I could pick an art style for any game, it probably would be that one. But what were you?
I was gonna say there's something to the simplicity of the art style for these last two games,
Yeah.
where it's like the grass looks like it's not as detailed as the other, but it's still pretty.
Yeah.
And the logic systems, well, that's just gameplay. What we're just talking about is superficial stuff.
But this art style allows them to do the logic.
Yes.
Like because they couldn't do it in a Skyward Sword style and
Yeah.
accomplish the things with the physics.
that's
that they
true.
Did.
I never thought about it.
Yeah,
like
that's
that, but
definitely
yeah.
why they decided to go with the cell shading because you can pack that into a game better.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it doesn't. It's not like Twilight Princess where it's like, I wish I
Right,
had that.
yeah, I agree. I think my problem with it is sometimes it's a little too shiny. Like everything is glimmering all at once, and I'm like, I can't really discern
Yeah,
individual
it's bright.
things. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very bright game. Which
I
I
think
mean,
with the box art's him
fine.
climbing the mountain, right? No, it's
No,
him with the
standing
yeah.
over the cliff,
Yeah,
looking
the box
out.
art is dope.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's good.
As far as modern, because I'm of the opinion that modern game cases suck.
suck,
They're all
yeah.
just like copy and paste, main character, blank background.
I wish I could
this
tell you what
shows
Tears,
you what you're getting
Tears of
into.
the Kingdom look like, but I don't know what the box art looks like.
Yeah, Walmart didn't get his game to him in time.
Wait for it to drop out of the sky.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, I'm
throwing
about
you-
5 hours in.
We're throwing you under the bus, Sammy Walt.
But that'll take us right into Tears of the Kingdom because the box art I like better than
What is the box art? I really don't
it's
know.
him on the cliff looking
Oh, okay,
over.
okay.
Yeah, and I really love it. I mean, both of those are really good in their own way. They convey what the game is. Art style is an improvement, even though it's the same. It's just better in my opinion. Like they pick the right colors in the right places and
Yeah.
everything.
And then this is like the only direct sequel, right?
Majora's kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be
I think the
only
DS
one.
ones are calm, but
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
nobody
this is
bothered.
definitely the only.
Well, it's just like they.
But this one was like announced as a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and the storyline is for sure like this happened and then this, that's you know.
Yeah.
I don't even think Majora's talked about what happened in Ocarina.
That's supposed to be in another timeline, though, right? Like
Majora's Mask?
they're the same
You wanna-
environment, but
you wanna-
yeah, I know. But I think it's supposed to be like two separate things happening at once, type of thing.
Adult Link and Ocarina went on to do different stuff than Young Link.
Right, that's where it
Yeah,
split,
and Young
yeah.
Link died, and that's Majora's Mask. So,
Right. But yeah, no, I think I think it's hard to pick just one because that's the beauty of Zelda is they've tried so many things and
Yeah.
landed so many things, and all of them have good aspects about them. Like the 2D ones have their own thing. So like I would probably have to break it down to individual styles. And I think in the old ones, my favorite would be the Minish Cap in terms of the art style and the box art. And then in the like the middle ones, like Majora's Mask and Ocarina, I guess those would kind of be lumped together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would put Wind Waker and I'm thinking the more cell shaded cartoony vibe ones would be like the two recent ones and Wind Waker, and then a lot of the DS ones. And I think Wind Waker is my favorite of those.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I
the
think Wind
realistic
Waker is the best looking Zelda as far as like just looking great. I think it's Wind
Yeah,
Waker.
it's like man, it's 20 years
Either that or
old.
Skyward Sword because I like both of those art styles.
Yeah, I think Skyward Sword. Yeah, it's a little plain if you compare it to these other ones, though. Like for me personally.
So, just based off art style, because I haven't played any of these games, I'm gonna say I like the muddiness and I like the grittiness of the Twilight Princess and Majora's Masks, and
Yeah.
I like those because I like seeing details in
Yeah.
clothing and stuff
did
like
that,
that. And
yeah.
you can see that in the newer games, in the newer art style and Wind Waker, but it feels more like he's wearing a belt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
a piece of clothing that has a belt attached.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
yeah. That I like that.
No, I can see what you're saying. Like, because all the other games feel like one model. Like it's all one model, but this is like it's a Link under
It's
these
different
clothes
layers.
and everything.
There's different
Yeah.
layers to it. Yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely a good level of realism to it. I compare this game to like a FromSoft game. Like the way it looks to me looks like a junior FromSoft game, which isn't bad. I've played.
Yeah.
That's one of my most played developers. But yeah, no, that was fun. We want to know what your favorite Zelda box art and
art style.
and just your favorite Zelda in general. We didn't really want to get into that here because there's a lot of debate that can happen. And also Eric's played pretty much all of them. I've played some and want to get through more of them before we do that. And he's played one.
I've played one.
So we got a lot of work to do. But yeah, that'll do it. Closing the show. Turn off the camera.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.